Earlier, one of my subscribers requested for a video on VOR tracking, so here it is. Hey everyone, welcome back to Fly with Shubham, and today we'll be learning how to track a VOR. Before we know how to track a VOR, we should know what a VOR actually is. It is a very high frequency omnidirectional range device. A VOR is a short-range navigation system which is on the ground, and it sends out 360-degree signals which help us determine our position. There are three main components to the VOR. The first is the station, the second being the antenna on the aircraft, and the third being the instrument inside the aircraft. So if this is a station, it is sending signals out in every single direction, each 360 unique signals to help us identify our position. And let's say our aircraft position is over here on this particular signal, which is a 090 signal from the station. So we are on a radial of 090 from the station. Radials are basically signals which are emitted from the station in all directions. Let's take an example for VOR tracking. Let's say you are going from point A to point B, and the point B is a VOR, whereas a point A is not a VOR. So this VOR is sending signals out in every direction, right? But this point is not a VOR. So you are going from this point to point B, right? So the first step would be to find your position with respect to this VOR. Now how do you find your position with respect to this VOR? It is by finding out which signal are you receiving from the VOR. You are going from point A to point B, right? So you will find out which signal your aircraft is receiving from the VOR, which will help you determine your position relative to this VOR. So let's take an example over here. For example, this might be a signal of 045 from the VOR. So you are going on a radial of 045 inbound to the station. One of the most important things to know is your position with respect to a VOR. Let's take an example where you're flying in the vicinity and the point alpha is a VOR in the vicinity where you're flying. So your instructor tells you, find the position with respect to the VOR alpha. So how do you do that? There are three major components involved in a VOR, like I told you before, which are the station, the antenna on the aircraft, and the instrument. So the two things are there. The main thing is you should know how to read your instrument. This is a very simple example of a CDI or a course deviation indicator, where this flag tells you whether you are going towards the station or away from the station. So this is a from flag. This means that you are going away from the station on a radial of 310. Whereas if you were going towards the station, this is how the CDI would look like. The flag will be above, showing that you are going towards the station. One more important thing to know is how to track a VOR radial towards the station. Let's take an example where your aircraft is at this position. The CDI will indicate you something like this, which states that you are towards the right of the track and you need to go towards the left. The one more important thing is the to and from flag. So this flag will tell you whether you are going towards the station or away from the station. Once you go towards the left, you will slowly start intercepting this particular radial 180, and this course deviation indicator will come closer, and then it will look something like this. Now if you're going away from the station, let's take an example where you're at this position and you're going away from the station, your CDI will indicate something like this. And of course the to and from flag. Now you know that you are towards the left of the track, you need to go towards the right hand side, and you are going away from the station as clearly stated by the from flag. Once you understand how to find out your position relative to a VOR, you can go further in depth to learn how to intercept radials. That is explained in another video of mine which I've previously posted called Intercepting Radials. In brief, there are 4 different ways you can intercept a radial, which is outbound to outbound, outbound to inbound, inbound to outbound, and inbound to inbound.